You ready?
Yeah, I'm just writing the announcement now, man.
Okay. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to SBR Switchback Racing League. We are here for the Spanish Grand Prix. This is Tier 2's race, and we're going to be doing the pre-season race here at Spain. So we're here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, which of course is located in Barcelona, which is Spain's second largest city. And of course, Barcelona is most famous for its beautiful art and its fantastic architecture. So we're here at the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, which made its official F1 debut in 1991 with Nigel Mansell winning the first race for Williams. The circuit length is 4.655 kilometers. That's 2.892 miles. And there are 16 turns, 7 to the left, 9 to the right, that complete a full distance of the Grand Prix here today. Overtaking opportunities will be a little bit limited compared to other tracks like Bahrain and Austria as well. But there is some great places to make some overtakes, especially along that really, really long straight coming down into turn 1 to make an overtake into the first turn. But of course, if you cannot make an overtake into that first turn with the DRS assisted, of course, there's always the uphill section of turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4, which you can make an overtake. And if I didn't mention this, there's 2 DRS zones to make good overtakes. One down that really long straight that I did mention about, and then there's also one in between turn 9 and turn 10. So with the details of the track aside, let's to the Grand Prix here today. We are here on track for the Spanish Grand Prix with the league SBRL, Switchback Racing League. This is Tier 2's pre-season test at the Spanish Grand Prix. The first ever race will begin next week at the Bahrain race, the Bahrain Grand Prix, of course. And in the comms booth here today, it's myself, Formula Jonah, and joining me in the comms booth is Ben, who of course owns this league. Ben, what's your thoughts on this season? And yeah, give us your thoughts basically on the full race that's going to happen, and exactly what are we looking for from our drivers from Tier 2 today?
Well, I guess the main aim being in Tier 2, which hopefully we're going to introduce even more tiers, but the ultimate aim is to get yourself into Tier 1 and just keep improving. So these guys are like the academy as such, and we're just I'm really looking forward to seeing them. A lot of new faces, some reserves in here today, and I know a lot of these guys are really close to having the pace for Tier 1. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I'm just. Speaking more about the race, unfortunately on stream we saw a crash. 2 people have crashed. XTXS was on his out lap, and he just took a little bit too much curb when he was just running into the lap, so that's unfortunate for him. But hopefully he can make his mark from the back of the grid. And same for, well, we've had another driver crash. I believe that's Chaos Druid.
Oh, no.
Obviously with a new game, everyone's struggling to get the grips. As Pally put a set to 16.2, that's a pretty impressive banker time from our Icelandic admin. Hazakul just goes P2 behind him, about 6/10 down. Unfortunately, we do have the same glitch with the cars. I can only hear the vacuum cleaner engine. So unfortunately, if you're viewing us today, you're going to have to deal with that. I'm not sure if that's the same on your end, Jonah.
It is a little glitch going on with the game. So viewers, sorry for the technical difficulties that we did explain. But yeah, that turbo, all we can hear basically is the turbo. We can't hear the engine, neither on cam, on the TV cam, or off cam as well. So that's unfortunate, but that's okay. Maybe that will be fixed in the Grand Prix itself.
Yes.
But yeah, Ben, I want to say a big thank you so much for joining me in the commentary booth. It's going to be an amazing journey that we're going to have. And yeah, I just want to quickly mention something real quickly. This is the pre-season race, so there will not be any points, if I'm correct,
No.
right?
Yes, that's correct. We just it's a trial because a lot of these guys haven't raced together on the new game. I mean, as I was saying, there's a lot of new guys in here, and we want to have at least one race to test everything out on the commentary side, technical difficulties, and also just to make sure everyone's got to grips with the new game, so they're not thrown straight into a situation where there are points up for grabs. And just watching Saro Karzan, he's on a very nice lap on the medium tyre. A lot of them have he's just left. He's just disconnected. I spoke too soon. That's unfortunate. Just see if there's anyone else on the lap.
I think one of the McLarens, I think it was Sorrow that was on
Sorrow.
a lap, but then, yep. And then I think there's an Alpine, Norwich in the
Norwich,
Alpine, of
yes.
course.
Just something interesting about something interesting about Norwich. He's a tier 1 driver actually, but recently he's had some struggle with a new game, just not being able to do as much. So he's wanted to move down to tier 2. So basically, what we're doing today is we're testing him out against these boys because we had a spare seat. As he just goes for a little spin there on the last corner, and he's going to go into the pit slightly illegally, but it's pre-season, so he won't be getting any penalties for that. Just to see behind, there is a Ferrari. I believe that's IDZ.
Might be Curly. I think he's just coming across the line to start his lap.
Watching IDZ there just a little moment. Yeah, on board with Curly. Oh, I can hear his car. Oh, that's exciting.
I can as well.
I can't. I can only hear his car though. So we're just going to go on board with Curly for the entire race then.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, that is surprising actually. Surprising that we can only hear his car. I was able to hear the Norwich in the Alpine through the pit lane, but I can. Oh, is Curly there? Just.
Oh, he's lagging around a little bit.
Yeah, I think what happened there, it looked like he went off the track at turn 4, but was that a little bit of lag there?
It definitely looks like lag. I'm not sure. He's usually been very fine on connection. I'm just going to switch to TMB Thomas, who's on a lap now, and the Aston Martin. He's going to come through set 21.7. That's a good first sector. Goes a little bit wide. He's just on the edge of the grass, as you always are on that turn. Just so close to spinning out, but he manages to keep it together. And just goes down to this tricky double apex corner of turn 7 and 8. Takes it nicely actually, not too close on the track limit. It's going to go wide into turn 9. A little downshift in there. Takes as much exit curb as he can, but manages to hold the car in one piece. Goes for the second sector. It's a 50.3. I'm not sure how good that is at the minute. We'll just see how everything develops later on. As he comes through the tricky, very technical third sector now. Seems to have held the car together well. Maybe missing the apex slightly there, but he's just going to go through the last chicane now. Oh, he hooks it up really nicely. And he's straight on the throttle. That is really nice driving from him. He's going to come across the line. This could be provisional pole. What's the time going to be? He goes P2 with a 16.4. Good lap. Just
2/10 down.
2/10 down on Pally, who is definitely one of the contenders for tier 1. I'd say, well, the teammates Meep and Pally, you know, in the AlphaTauris, I know for a fact they are both very quick drivers, and we're going to see a lot from them this season. As we're going to see a lot from everyone, really. Don't want to be too biased. Everyone's got a lot in their locker, and most people are either on and out lap. Most people are in the pits now. I think there's going to be a couple of disconnections, so I apologise if the stream's been paused. Toto Hammer says someone invite me. Yes. July the 13th. Yeah, July the 16th for everyone.
Them for now, it's okay. I can hear, I think, Thomas's car a little bit, I think. Or never mind, I can't.
I can't.
Kind of looked like he did, but yeah. Anyway, getting back onto the race now. A very good lap by Thomas. I wanted to say there, 116.4. That's 2/10 down off of provisional pole position by the AlphaTauri driver in first place.
Yeah.
And of course he is on the soft tires, and also we have to remember the 4th and 5th drivers are on the mediums, and they have a 117 point. Now they improved, so Fergal there just went a 117.3, so he just improved on his lap. But what can Meep Show do? I want to see what he can do because he's on the mediums. He's got an invalid lap at this moment, but he is on the medium tire.
Just to
do you
correct
think
you,
he can maybe go on to the first?
Oh, he's on the softs right now, man. Oh, there's some good penalties. Hazuka was a penalty with Norwich fan, and I saw Norwich fan got when he got a penalty from the Alfa Romeo of Kai as well. They had a collision, but yeah, Meep Show is on the soft tires, man. I'm not sure what you're seeing.
He was. Yeah,
he was on the mediums beforehand.
Because he was on the he was on the mediums beforehand. I was curious to see
he was.
what his lap was going to bring us.
Oh, 17.4 is good on the mediums actually from Meep. I know he's very formidable.
So what can his soft lap do? That's the question.
We're going to go on board with him, with his turbo, and see what he can improve. I know Meepshaw uses automatic gears, but that doesn't mean to say that he's just understeered a little bit there. That corner very tricky if you don't get the apex on the in-swinger. He's about a tenth up, 21.7. Looks to have outbraked himself slightly, but hopefully he can get a good exit from that. As we have the spun Alfa Romeo of Kai on the medium tyre there. Just goes through, doesn't take as much exit curb as he might want to, but he's going to go through this turn now, hopefully stay close to the track limits. Again, misses the apex slightly, but it still seems to be very composed from Meepshaw, not taking too many risks at this early stage of qualifying.
I've noticed that he's getting a lot of understeer. Have you been noticing that?
Yes, I've seen that. It seems, I think it's just an issue with early qualifying, and there's just a little bit less grip available to the drivers, but that should be realised later on in the session. I think
it's also... Oh, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, could be the setup as well. This track is... it makes a little mistake into the chicane. The chicane is very difficult.
Yes.
Before I continue on, I was going to say, Meepshaw comes across the line. He goes P4, 117.096. Quick lap by the AlphaTauri driver. But it could be also... The reason why he's getting understeer is he might be running a low downforce setting.
Yes.
This track requires a medium to high level downforce setting because of how the track develops. Compared to tracks like Monza, where that's a low downforce and more power, all that sort of thing. This track is high downforce, so that means you're basically going to need a lot more downforce within the car. Meepshaw might be running less downforce. That's probably why he's understeering through a lot of these corners, especially through like turn 3. He might just not have the actual speed through a lot of these corners. It looks like he's going pretty fast through this turn 6, turn 7, turn 8, 9 section of the track, so he might be trying to improve on this lap. Goes down into the deep section of turn 10. His sector time's looking pretty good through turn 11 now on that curb. Through turn 12, shifted down to third, up to fourth immediately, go wide to the left side of the track, then hit that apex right. Yeah, he does actually do pretty good. And let's see if he can improve through this chicane. Much better chicane than previously. Turn 15, now turn 16 of Catalonia, through the last turn, onto the curb, across the line. Where does he go? He goes P2, and right behind his teammate, splits the Aston Martin and the AlphaTauri, and goes a 116.3. This is really ramping up. These qualifying times are coming down the wire.
Oh, Paddy Putter was on a lap, but Curly was on the line. He didn't get out of the way. Paddy Putter was just improving by about a tenth. I don't know if he's going to go on another one now. I don't think he has enough fuel. He lets Jack Spruce through. Let's see what Jack Spruce can do. I believe he is on a flying lap, but he goes into the pits. Very close to the wall, actually. I am unfortunately having some complaints about the drivers that this lobby is unplayable with frame drops.
Yes,
that's worrying.
Is there lag?
There is, it's not even lag. I think it's just frame. Oh, he's gone fastest. TMV Thomas has gone fastest by 4 tenths. I was just saying there's frame drop, but clearly with that time, there's not too much for some drivers. That's really impressive in the middle of qualifying.
So Thomas showing that he's got the pace maybe to even take
definitely.
It to the championship.
Oh, Hasekul! Oh, sorry to interrupt, but Hasekul has gone off at turn 9, and he has binned it into the wall, and his tyre is off. He is out of the session. That is unfortunate for him. At least he got a lap in, but obviously some of the drivers really struggling. 6 of them out. That is very unusual, but I don't really know what to say about that. It's
that's really unfortunate because
he
was in a contention for possible pole position. He was in that top 5.
For sure. We'll just I can't see I'm gonna just play around with a few of my audio settings. I don't know if it's that. Maybe turn all the effects down. Turn the other cars down. Just gonna mess around with it a little bit.
And viewers, just FYI, this glitch that we're having with the audio for the cars might improve during the race. I don't have enough information as the game's quite new onto why this glitch is happening, but it's possible that it could go away in the race, so just keep that in mind. But anyway, yeah, Thomas on pole position at this moment with 3 minutes to go, and he does retire. He hit the wall. Thomas is out of the race, or out of the qualifying race.
Is he retired in the pits?
I think he retired on the exit. I think he went too wide into that entrance of the pit lane.
Because it looks like he's parked in a very awkward way, yeah.
Let's run on board with the Williams. Marshall, I think he's coming through that section now. And let's see where he's at. It looks, oh yeah, he's retired in the pit lane. He's spinning, he's sideways in the pit lane entrance there. So that's super unfortunate for Thomas, but will his time stay? He might stay in first place. Let's just see how this works out. But Marshall heading in for a pretty clean lap for that Williams team. Coming through turn 3 now. Let's see if he can improve on his lap of a 118.2 and go faster. This will probably be his final lap, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, probably. It's about 1.5 minutes. He looks like, looking from his dashboard, he only has 1 lap of fuel in his car, so he won't get time to do to refuel in the pits. So this is all or nothing for him now. There's just an Aston AlphaTauri ahead of him on his outlap, so hopefully that won't disturb him. You see Marshall coming through turn 9. Looks like he takes it relatively cleanly, actually, nearly flat out, which is good. He's done a 51.1 in the middle. He's just slightly up there by 800ths. See what he can produce through the final sector. And
meanwhile as well, CK in the Ferrari is about to come across the line to be the first to set a lap here. The Ferrari driver comes across the line on those mediums. Let's see if he can improve.
He can't. I believe he must have backed out on this lap, and he hasn't got much ERS. He's only been setting laps on the mediums, which will give him a lot of tyre wear, as Marshall does not improve his position, but he comes in with a 17.9. I mean, that's really bad. Half the grids retire from qualifying. I'm not quite sure. I need to invite Sarah back to the session, though. Inviting.
And where does he put it? P7 for the Red Bull team. What about his AlphaTauri teammate, if I want to say, as they are both Red Bull, they're in the Red Bull Academy here. I think it might be Meep Show. He does not improve on his lap unless he's going for another. Let's see if that...
He's gone wide! He spinned it. Oh, he's taken a bit of contact. Luckily his wheel doesn't come off, but that must have given some damage. I'm just saying, Pally he's just slightly down, actually. He has a little lock up into the deep section. I'm being told we might have to make another lobby. Oh, he's had a little moment there, has Pally.
Oh!
Yeah, he steps out.
CK as well. CK as well just spun at the exit of turn 13. Sorry to interrupt there. Yeah, the Ferrari driver just spun as well. A few spinners happening on these final laps here in qualifying.
Yeah. He spun it. He spun it on the last corner. That's an unusual place to spin. I mean, his tyres must have just been hot and caught him off guard. There's a Ferrari in the middle of the track for Fergal. Let's see where he goes. Goes fourth with a 16.7. Owen has spun. Jack Spruce is 2.5 tenths up here, coming through the last sector. Little moment for him, but shouldn't be too much of a problem.
See if Jack can improve on this lap. Goes P6 ahead of Owen and a 117.442 for the Red Bull driver.
Sorry, man. Just give me a sec. I'm gonna speak to the tier 2 guys about why the retirements are happening, because this never happens.
All right, no problem. While you're doing that, I'm gonna quickly run down the grid. So we got Thomas on pole position. Can the AlphaTauris beat him? I think Meep Show is out of qualifying, so he stays P3. What about Pally, though, in the AlphaTauri 24 car? Let's see if he can improve on his lap. He's got a Haas just ahead. Oh, a little mistake into turn 11, but he saves the car and comes back on track still in contention for pole position here. Let's see if he can improve on this lap and possibly take it to Thomas for pole position here today at the Spanish Grand Prix for preseason testing. Can he start off the season on top? No, he does not. It's only a 116.1, so he will start P2. Thomas is on pole position for Aston Martin Racing. Pally is P2 with Meep Show in P3, rounding off the grid for the 2 AlphaTauris in the top 3, of course. The 2 AlphaTauris did a great job here today, 2nd and 3rd. That is great, and showing that they have potential when the season gets underway very soon. But it looks like qualifying has ended. We're ready to go into the race and see what these guys can do on track, battling wheel to wheel with each other for the Tier 2 race here for preseason testing. But I think I want to mention something real quickly before we get into our Grand Prix. That is the tire strategy. You guys are probably wondering what the tire strategy exactly is. Well, it's a pretty interesting one. The recommended tire strategy is a 2-stop, probably a soft, medium, soft, and that looks like a lot of drivers will be going for that. 2-stop strategy. Might even be a soft medium as the softs wear down quite a bit at the end of the Grand Prix. They did that in 2020. Not sure about 2021. I'm assuming it'll be around the same, but we'll see how that works. But the strategy I tend to go for is a medium to hard, pit around like lap 15, 16, pit onto the hard tires. You should be good till the end of the race, and then you don't have to pit for a second time, unless, of course, a safety car comes out, which is very possible. You never know what can happen. So we'll have to see how it works out. But it looks like our pole position driver is TMB Thomas in the Aston Martin car, that beautiful new Aston Martin livery, previously known as the Racing Point livery. It is now Aston Martin on the new game. The two AlphaTauris of Pali and Meepshow are P2 and P3. As I said before, a very strong performance by the two AlphaTauris. And rounding off the top 5 is Fergal and Haskell, who's got a 5-place grid penalty, and I can't remember exactly what that was from. Ben, can you tell me what that 5-second penalty was from? Do you remember?
Yes, I believe that was from a collision with Norwich fan 7. I didn't quite catch it, but I know Norwich fan had 2 collisions, so he had a penalty himself with a collision with Kai. I'm not sure if it was fairly awarded or not. But we're just going to see just an update on the actual logistics of everything. I mean, hopefully the lobby will be better, but there are a lot of drivers complaining of frame drop, which is a bit of an issue, and I'm not sure it's something that can be fixed. But I'll just keep you posted on that. We're just waiting now. The lobby should be getting started in about 30 seconds, as someone has already selected their strategy for the race. And I believe a lot of these drivers didn't set laps, so they'll have a free choice when it comes to tyres, as the part fermé rules will not apply to them. So that'll bring an interesting mix of strategies, really. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, the strategy will be quite interesting going into this Grand Prix. We don't really know what's going to happen because weather could affect the race. There could be a safety car. Tire strategy could be completely different. You could even do it with 3-stop. Who knows what could happen here today?
The cars are back, mate. All the car sounds are back. I don't have the the audio glitch anymore. That's brilliant. Hopefully that might mean the frames will be sorted then. I'll just they'll keep me updated. Is it any?
That's great news.
Yeah, good. So as you predicted, it did sort itself out in the race. So hopefully that doesn't go away, as we do need to hear the cars. Makes it so much better. Oh, there's already been a collision between Chaos Druid and Lightning, and they 16th and 17th have been disqualified for the session, and that'll be bad for them because they will have cold tyres. And just as we say that, 2 more drivers have collided.
Yeah, cold tires are not good for around here. You want to start on a warm tire. That would be great. But unfortunately, it looks like 4 drivers already are disqualified from the formation lap, but they'll hopefully be able to get back into the race like around the first lap, get their tires warmed up. I'm going to quickly do the rundown of the grid if you don't mind. Thomas is on pole position for the Aston Martin team. Pali second place alongside him on the first row of the grid. Then we got Meepshow in the other AlphaTauri starting P3 alongside Fergal using P4 for the Alfa Romeo team. Jack Spruce is fifth with Owen in P6 for Red Bull and Mercedes respectively on the third row of the grid. Fourth row of the grid is CK and Marshall, Ferrari and Williams sharing a grid spot on the fourth row of the grid. And then rounding off the top 10 is Toto Hammer and Haskell, who just had a penalty in the qualifying session and was dropped down to P10 from, I do believe, P5. And then the rest is Curly, Kai, and XTX, Sorrow, and then Inferno, I think that is. I'm still getting used to all these names, guys, so bear with me on that. And then the Chaos, Light.
Well, I'm just glad to see that the lobby has sorted itself out. Everyone's reporting that the frame glitch is gone. So I just looking forward for a good race. The first race with this set of drivers. A lot of talented guys in here, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I've been excited for this for a long time. It's been too long since we've been gone racing. And I'll let you announce the start, mate.
All right, so the 5 red lights are about to go out, and I think there's a little bit of glitch. Oh no, there's a little bit of glitch going on. And there we go. The 5 red lights are out. And we are underway. Williams cuts across the other side of the track to get a better start. It looks like Thomas got a really good start on the first start of the Grand Prix. And look at Fergal. He's already up into P2, challenging both AlphaTauris. He goes down the inside on the AlphaTauri, and the Alfa Romeo goes a little bit off the track.
Pali's defended the position well. Yep. TMB Thomas has got away cleanly, which is good for him. There's a lot of movement around the grid. Curly's gone up to P9. Haskell makes an overtake on Jack Spruce.
A lot of cars going through.
Oh, there's been a little spin. No, Total Hammer and Jack Spruce have collided. Total Hammer's in the wall. Total Hammer's in the wall. That is really unfortunate for him. I don't know if he's had wing damage. Yes, he does. Clearly, that's
wing damage for the Haas.
Yes, he will have to box, as wing damage is a nightmare around here, as I've experienced. But just looking forward towards the front. TMB Thomas has got away well.
Oh, another spin on the other Haas. That's the other Haas of
Chaos
That's just fun.
And Lightning seems to be round. Tyrant seems to be round. There's a lot of collisions back at the back here, just from a Ferrari of, I believe, Curly. There's a virtual safety car. I didn't see that.
The VSC has been called out.
The VSC has been called out.
It's to clear all that damage all off the track.
Yes.
I think that was all that. The two Haas's spun, and I think Lightning as well also made some contact with someone. There was some contact the first couple of laps, or first couple of corners, sorry. But yeah, pretty much everyone's got back into their normal positions. I want to quickly talk about Fergal. What a great start that was for the Alfa Romeo driver. Got up into P2. Unfortunately, he did go wide at turn 2, I think it was, and moved back down to 4th.
And drive-through penalties, it looks like there's 3 of them. Just look at them now. Yeah, there's 3 drive-throughs for Total Hammer. Oh, that's unfortunate. The 2 Hatters who collided earlier on, and Black CF. That's really bad for them. But
and Kai's out of the race as well.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to him. I believe, is he retired in the main straight?
He has. I'm not sure. It looked like he maybe made. It seems like you had made contact, because that's not. If I'm not mistaken, that's not normal that you would retire on the straight unless you made contact with someone. And you said, who got a drive-through penalty? You said 4 drivers?
3 drivers. Black CF, Total Hammer. So the two Hassers who were involved in early collisions took drive-through penalties, and Black CF also took one. He's sitting nicely in P8. He's going down the positions now. I don't know if he spun or... Yes, he has spun.
He did, yeah.
He spun just as we're speaking about him. Commentator's curse strikes again. Oh, and someone's got into a wall. That's a Ferrari. That's a Ferrari. LZ dead. IDZ goes straight into the wall. That's another VSC out. And the treacherous curves of this new game strike again, and they've collected 2 victims so far today. And that's really, really bad for him, just on the second lap as well. Anything can happen, and unfortunately that has resigned him to the wall. And got another VSC, hopefully no one else will take drive-throughs. Black CF is going into the pits now to serve it. I'm not sure he can serve it. I'm not sure that's the best of ideas, because you can't serve it.
I think he can, but
I don't know. Well, oh, Curly's got a drive through as well. Gone too
nightmare
early.
day for the 2 Ferraris.
Yep.
And look at the 2 Alpines, Norwich and Inferno. They're going wheel to wheel. Oh, there's so much. It looked like it was going to be contact there, but there was not. That was extremely clean racing there, and great job to both drivers. It looks like Inferno is got a little X next to his name, so he might be actually not even in the session. Yeah, he's left the session. Left.
His Wi-Fi has gone down. I can't invite him back because it's happened before. That's going to be a problem we have to address with him. Oh God, this spectating is horrible.
Yeah, there's a lot of glitches going on with the game. I think it's just the game being the game.
Yeah. Oh, and Fergal's
and we have to remember. We have to remember. And it's much easier to spin. If you're like maybe off track a little bit, you can spin. It's a lot more realistic. As there's the Williams. I think that's Haskell. He just spun.
He spun on the main straight. There's a lot of them spinning on the main straight. I don't know if the exit there that's causing problems, or hot tires or anything. As Fergal is losing positions now, I've tried to invite him back, but it says he's already in the lobby, which isn't good. Inferno's joined again.
Haskell's got major wing damage. He's gonna have to pit, and that's gonna drop him outside the top 10. The nearest rival that he's gonna have to worry about is actually his teammate Marshall, who's actually looking for a move on Curly. Curly's got a drive-through penalty and 5-second penalty for Black CF in the pit lane.
Speeding in the pit lane, that's a nightmare for him. And just a little bit of background information: Curly and Marshall are actually brothers, so I'm sure the rivalry will be even more intense than it would be for other drivers. There's a Sector 3 yellow flag someone else has spun. It's XTXS. He's done it on a straight. He's right in the middle of it. I don't know what's happened here. And Chaos Stewart has had another spin, and he's already been lapped. That's really unfortunate for him.
I've noticed there's a lot of retirements on the final turn. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I know. I don't really know why, because it should be very simple for the drivers, really. But hopefully it improves.
I think it's mainly because I've seen a lot of drivers go wide there. I think there's a lot of understeer issues going on with a few drivers, so I think that's due to the setups. Maybe some drivers are still getting used to these setups. A lot of drivers don't even have setups at the start of the game. It's completely understandable. So that may be why Haskell retires at this exact same place as we're talking about, turn 16.
What's happening there?
I think what's going on is that they're hitting the curb on the left side of the exit of turn 15,
yeah.
and then they're going too wide into that section. They just spin it, and on the inside curb or on the outside curb. I think they're going too wide into the exit of turn 16, off of turn 15. So I don't know if that's exactly correct, but that's just my theory on that.
Yeah, because I have really no idea. I mean, I must have spun there about twice since I started playing the F1 game, so it must be at a difficulty. Hopefully not any sort of glitches. We can't deal with any more of those. I was watching Inferno's in AI, and he's got the fastest lap as well.
Oh, now strange. He's reset.
Oh, has he? Yeah. And
why is he driving really slow though?
Inferno?
Yeah, he's driving a little slow in second and third gear.
It looks fine now, actually. Little lift, which seems unusual. Yeah,
I think there's a little bit of lag going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of lag going on.
But all good. Yeah, we move on.
Oh, I hope so. Well, DRS will be on now. Overtaking will be rife, or at least much more frequent than it is right now. Just looking at Sarah, I believe I've invited Fergal back to the race, so hopefully he'll be joining back, and maybe we could see a little battle between him and Sarah. Two drivers of similar pace, for sure. Yeah, but Pally closing that gap to 1.3 now. He is definitely closing in, but both drivers on relatively low ERS actually for this early stage in the race, about 30% apiece. Pally with maybe a few percent more, but that shouldn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But that does matter in the grand scheme of things. Thomas gets a 3-second time penalty for warnings for exceeding track limits, and that could play into the hands of Pally. They're both pitting. I believe that would be the two-stop strategy. I remember I did a race here recently, and yeah, it's a soft, medium situation for those who start on the softs, although I believe a lot of our drivers would be starting on the mediums, as I was saying, the Parc Ferme rules. So yeah, we're seeing the soft runners going to the pits now. Meep Show takes the lead of the race. Oh, he has spun! Meep Show takes too much curb, and he has spun on turn 1. Always right in the middle of the track. Hopefully his car goes for the other drivers. Inferno goes into P3. Meep Show gets going again, but that is a nightmare for him. Just gaining the lead of the race, and he's gone from hero to zero in that matter of seconds here.
That's going to drop him outside the podium. Once he does pit, that's going to drop him outside. Owen's going to take first as Curly is out of the race at turn 16 again. The same corner. What's going on? And he spun in the pit lane. He spun in the pit lane, I think. Yeah, because he was on the medium tyres. He shouldn't have been pitting, but I think he just took too much outside curb. Or maybe it was on the inside, but the curbs are really harsh on the last corner. Just sends the car flying. And there's a safety car. The safety car has been deployed. And that plays right into the hand. Well, it helps him, but it helps Thomas and Pally even more, the drivers who have made their stops. Although that gives Owen, that does give Owen a free stop. Let's see where he comes out, see if he comes out ahead of the Aston Martin and the AlphaTauri. Owen, of course, going into the pits now, as is natural. Yeah. Fascinating. Owen is going to get a good jump, you know? Yes, he is. Sarakar's staying out. Inferno is going into the pits. Let's see what else is happening. Meep is going into the pits. And it looks like, is Owen going to get ahead of Pally? I don't believe so, but yeah, he's just coming out now. I think Owen's gonna... Yeah, he's just behind Pally. I mean, it's not too bad for him because it closes the gap to the drivers.
So it's a good stop for Owen. TMB Thomas keeps second, keeps provisional P1, as Sarah will definitely have to pit sooner rather than later. But just to run down the order, we have Sarah and P1 who hasn't stopped. So Meep, Pally and Owen, the trifecta of drivers who have now made their first stop onto the medium tyres. Jax Bruce with a penalty just behind. Meep Show who had an earlier spin. That safety car has helped him a lot actually, because he will get straight up to the pack again. Fergal in AI modes just behind. He'll be dropping down unfortunately for him unless he rejoins the race. Norwich fan on the hard tyres. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with those. Maybe even extend it to the end of the race. As the durability of these tyres is obviously much greater than those of the other two compounds. I'm Marshall on the mediums. He's just stopped in 9th. Inferno's in a wall and he's not moving. And he's been disqualified.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's had problems all race. But Inferno has been disqualified from the race. That's slightly very concerning. Hopefully that won't happen to him in the actual season. But we'll just run down Toto and P10. He's on older medium tyres, although he has stopped due to his spin earlier on in the race. Black CF as well. Lightning on the hards, as well as is Tyrant and Chaos Druid, who is unfortunately a lap down.
Yeah, a lot of position changes going on from the start of the race to about now. Safety car has come out, and Sorrow is pitting.
Well, let's see what he does here. I think he will probably go onto the hard tyres, but that's a worse time for him to stop, because he's just going to get swallowed up by the pack, going to lose a lot of positions. But yeah, Thomas regains the lead. Going right along the side of the safety car.
It's not worth it.
I think he's going for a one-stop. Him, Norwich fan, Lightning and Tyrant, the 4 drivers who could potentially pull that off.
But is that possible? I don't know if that's possible, because the hards don't last like this long. I don't know if they can last this long. But there's also another possibility as well. If the one-stop doesn't work out for them, they might choose to go for the 2-stop of going to the softs at the end of the Grand Prix.
Yes.
If the for Norwich and Sorrow, but Sorrow is probably just like, you know what, I know lead of the race, but it's not going to work out for me for the long term. And this is a smart decision by him to pit early and to think about that, because yeah, and especially because I know this is difficult for drivers to think about strategy, because you're also thinking about racing. Racing is the most difficult thing in all of it's a very difficult thing. That's the thing that you're doing when you're coming here. Yes. You can't really think about anything else.
That's the main
and that
thing.
Just goes to the confidence that he has, that he's able to basically like put the racing aside and go like, okay, how can I get a good result here? And he's been able to think about that in the long term, and that's pretty astonishing actually, and just showing that's a good strategy. And maybe his team is telling him as well, this is what we want to do. So quite interesting.
Yeah, well, it's just strategy here is key, especially with the early safety car. It's at the prime time for the drivers to stop, so it really could play out. Even if you've not got the biggest raw pace, you could end up on the podium, even on the top step, if you really get the strategy right. The safety car is staying out for one more lap, as I believe Tyrant hasn't caught up to the field yet, but I'm sure we will see a restart fairly soon. It'll be interesting to see what TMB Thomas does. Does he take it right up to the line? Does he try and go early to catch Pally off guard? It's a decision that I'm sure he'll be mulling over right now as we go down the main straight for the last time under safety car conditions.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's something that Pally's going to think about. And that's something that Thomas is going to think about. Where can I put the car that will be able to get a gap off the car behind? And we have to remember that straight is insanely long, and the slipstream is going to be massive for the driver behind.
Definitely.
So this will put Pally in a really good position. So what he has to do is jump on it immediately when Thomas goes. When Thomas goes, Pally's got to jump on it immediately, and then he'll be able to get the slipstream.
Exactly.
Because it doesn't even matter if he gets past onto that corner where Thomas does go. It's a matter of, can he catch up with the slipstream behind? So it's up to his raw pace and his ERS as well, his slipstream from the car ahead. So it's a lot of factors to play. And also, another driver to look out for, we've been talking about Thomas and Pally, how they've been kind of the main two at the front of the grid, but don't discount Owen.
Yeah, he's right behind there. He's made his stop just under safety car, worked out perfectly for him. And I think just one thing we have to note is Thomas has a penalty. The front two, as well as Meep Show and Fergal, who I believe is joining back soon. The front five do not. other than Thomas. So that's that'll be a big issue for him. He will really want to step on the gas and try and get away from the drivers so that doesn't ruin his race result, especially under safety car conditions. Everyone's so bunched up, you can't get away at all. So that's Pally's had a little moment there actually. Nearly spins the car, just on board with him. But we'll see what goes on there. Well. Yeah, lockups. Thomas is there's been contact. Is there going to be penalties from that? Yes, Pally's got a penalty. I don't know if Thomas got one. They seem to be going now. We're going to go into broadcast mode. Everyone swoops around the final corner here. The front five seem to be breaking away. Owen, he's just looking at the back of Pally. Is he going to make a dive into turn one? It's going to be risky. Let's have a look on board. He stays alongside, tugs the inside very nicely. Oh, Pally's put him off. Oh, and Owen is out of the race. Oh, contact between the two drivers. Owen, who was in such a good position. And I don't know what to think about that. There wasn't enough space. There was not enough space. Owen definitely doing his best. I'm really not sure what we could put that down to. I'm sure there will be lots of reports afterwards. That is incredibly unfortunate for Owen. Just bad luck for him. And he has ended his race in the first corner. So much hope for him. All goes away. Oh, Jake Spruce has just spun from third. He just spun on the exit of... and kills through. There's two crashes. Oh, everyone's gone, and there's a Red Bull. It looks like a big collision back there. There's two Red Bulls gone. Spruce, yep. Yeah, Jack Spruce and Black CF there. That's a nightmare for him. He spun at the same corner twice. But I tell you, this plays into the hands of Thomas really well. I don't think he got a penalty from the contact with Pally. I'll just check that now. Oh no, he does have it. He does have a penalty from Pally. Oh, that's not good. So Meep Show. Meep Show. This puts him in the winning position now. Yeah, definitely. Just look at tyres. I believe Norwich fan as well on the hard tyre. He's the one going for the one stop. He's the only driver who will not have to stop again. Let's see what he can do. That'll be fascinating. I really think Norwich fan is definitely in contention for at least a podium here. Sector 3 yellow flag. Jack Spruce has crashed out. And Fergal has left the session. This is frustrating for them. Yeah, everyone just getting close. DRS. Well, there's a train of 4 cars. Norwich fan at the front of that. Marshall, Toto, Hammer, and Lightning just behind. When a DRS is activated, I believe either in next lap or in 2 laps' time, that will definitely line up some moves. As Meat gets a penalty. 3-second time penalty. That's hurt his performance now because he's going to be Pally and Thomas. I mean, he's still in contention for first at the moment. But that's going to add to his little frustration of a race, with that spin, of course. So this actually puts the 4th place driver, Fergal, in a really good position. But actually, he's actually not in his car. He's joined the session, but he's not in his car. So this is not really looking good for Fergal. It's actually looking more good for Norwich, who is actually now in the position to win the race. I tell you, Fergal's just taking control of his car. If you can see now, he's unghosted, and he's kept the position in front of Norwich. He's going to have to use his ERS. Norwich doesn't have DRS this lap. I'm sure it will be coming next lap, though. But yeah, that makes an even bigger train with Fergal at the helm, the worst position in the train, really, as he's going to be vulnerable from 4 cars behind if everyone can stay in that DRS and not make any mistakes. There's a massive train right here. It's 4th to, I want to say 8th now? Yeah. 4th to 8th. Well, Lightning's slightly far off, but I'm sure with the dirty air he'll be able to catch up. I know Lightning is a very quick driver, actually. Definitely one of the quickest guys in Tier 2. But just looking back, I think Pally's going to do all he can to stay in the DRS of Thomas. They're both very low, actually. They're both on red light ERS or close to it. Pally's got 11%, Thomas has 7%, so they've overextended themselves trying to get away. Let's see what Meep Show has. He's on 48%, so he's not only got the fewest penalties out of the top 3 drivers, but he's also got by far the most energy. So if he's able to close that gap, he can definitely line up a move on the front 2 drivers. So it's very much all to play for in the top 3 here. Oh, absolutely. It's a very interesting race going forward. Fergal has left the session again. Yeah, I'm not going to invite him back. Yeah, it's just connection issues, the way the game is, unfortunately. I think it'd just be a waste of time. Now. Norwich is gaining. He's going to make the move. His car will brake later into turn 1 due to the reduced AI. As we see that he goes straight through.
and Pally did set the fastest middle sector out of anyone on the grid so far on that previous lap. And a yellow virtual safety car has been called out. What is that for
I don't
exactly?
know. I'm not sure. Has there been an incident? It looks like
maybe Black CF?
Black CF just went into the pits. I don't know how many times he stopped. Sarah's left the session. Yeah, connection issues for him.
Something may have happened with the 4th down to 7th.
I'm not sure because
they're very close together.
Yeah, because it didn't look like anyone has had any damage or spun. I saw Hammer losing a couple of positions on my left-hand side here. Also, is it just you, or are you the only one with? Can you see the intervals because they're just gone for me?
Oh yeah, I can see them.
Okay.
That's very strange that you can't see them.
I'll change it to leader then, I guess.
Yeah, maybe you try and reset it here. That might do.
Yeah, I'll turn the menu off and everything.
You know what's interesting is this gives Polly and Thomas a really good chance to now save ERS. So this has actually helped them out quite a bit. And Misha's now up to 81%. That is extreme by the AlphaTauri driver. He's got so much ERS compared to everyone around him. Unfortunately, though, he is 6.5 seconds behind his teammate. So that's not helped out. As Lightning gets past Fergal, and this train of cars right here is actually getting quite interesting. Off of turn 2, now into turn 3, as Toto Hammer now gets past.
Hammer stuck down the inside there, and Lightning as well.
Too.
Lightning is an AI. He's disconnected as well. So I'm just gonna have to just you take the reins, mate. I'm gonna have to. I just have to invite a couple of guys back. Sorry, man. Yes.
At SBR, Thomas still leads away. I'm starting to have that glitch with the interval as well. Let me see.
I think you should be okay when they cross the line. Yeah.
Oh, that might be it. Yeah.
But yeah, Paddy, I think he's just outside his DRS. I can't quite Yeah, he's not got DRS on Thomas. Yeah, 1.5 behind, as it's just shown up for me now.
Yep. Yeah, he's too far behind for the DRS. You're absolutely right there. So he's gonna have to wait another lap and close that gap to the Aston Martin car. As here comes Toto Hammer flying down the pit straight. Let's see if he can make it.
Oh no, that's a big move.
He's sending it. Wow, and Norwich actually saw that. Oh, and there's contact.
That's really bad from him. That's really bad from Toto Hammer. He's yeah, I unfortunately have to say he's outbraked himself there, and he's unfortunately put Norwich into grass. Fortunately, there haven't been any DNFs, but I'm sure Norwich will be fuming to see that.
Yeah, that was a little
from
too
Toto. That was too aggressive. I mean, obviously everyone wants the positions, everyone wants to take advantage, but that was probably a little bit too hot-headed from Toto Hammer. But it's not. There isn't too much collateral damage, so I think we're okay.
It's just pre-season testing.
Meepshow's dropped back from Paddy quite a lot, actually. I don't know what's happened to him, but he's lost. Yeah, he's 5.5 seconds back. I'm sure that gap was smaller. Thomas on another 3 seconds. And Pally hasn't got any track limits. They're going to serve the 5 seconds in the pits when they stop again eventually. But that still leaves Thomas with a provisional 6 seconds at the checkered flag. And, with only half the race done, he could rack up even more penalties, and that would be really detrimental for him. Of course, showing that he should have the quickest pace of anyone on the grid, getting pole by nearly 3/10. He's really putting his own race in jeopardy with these track limit mistakes.
Agreed. Yeah, I think
Toto Hammer's in the pits.
And Norwich as well. Yeah, both of them. That's unfortunately kind of ruined their strategies in a way,
Yeah, Norwich is getting a wing change. The contact with Toto definitely gave him some damage. Toto is serving a penalty, but he is not getting a wing change. I believe he's going on to the hards for his final stint of the race.
Yeah, I got to comment more on that. I got to look in the replay of what exactly happened there between Toto and Norwich, but I see that was pretty much all Toto there. Went for a really, really late dive bomb. That's way too far back. That was almost a second back from Norwich. But this is preseason testing. These drivers are all testing out. But yeah, something you don't want to be making in the early.
He's crashed! I don't know what's happened.
Thomas!
He's wriggled on the exit.
On the curb.
I'm trying to get a view from someone else's car. Yeah, he's spun on the curb. He must have just... Is he on the left there?
Yep, on the left. Let's take a look at Marshall. Yeah, he's in the wall. He just spun
Oh,
it.
he's just taking that curb.
11.
And that is a 1-2 for the AlphaTauri boys. Perfect situation for them now.
Pali's pitting, but that's put Micho into P1 now. All he has to do is not repeat what he did before, but Pali, he's going to have to pit. He's going to have to serve that 5 second. He might come out behind all the train here. This is absolute devastation for both AlphaTauri of Pali and Thomas, the 2 race leaders. Micho takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix here today. Absolute drama on lap 18.
I think on the other hand, it's clever from Pali because I think he would he'd definitely rather serve his penalty as Marshall gets a drive through. That's unfortunate for him. He'd much rather serve his penalty under a situation where the drivers are going slowly, so he doesn't lose as much time. So that's clever from him. I believe Micho stayed out so as to avoid the double stack, so he didn't lose too much time. But yeah, he is now in the lead by 8.5 seconds. With Lightning close in pursuit, Sarah's just disconnecting. It's unfortunate. I mean, there's 3 drivers with bad connection here. It would be much more entertaining, I'm sure, if they could actually connect to the race. But yeah, we're just going to watch Micho, see what he does here. I assume we'll be stopping soon, maybe to minimise the damage. Hope Paddy gets stuck in a bit of traffic, maybe. We'll see what happens from here. But it seems to be very much a race between the AlphaTauris.
The only other driver that I see that can affect this podium, and actually who's got the best chance of getting the podium, is Sorrow. Great recovery from him from after leaving the session. And, he's actually just left the session again. Yeah, not another commentator's curse.
The commentator's curse is striking. Well, I think it's more the game. It's not the commentator's fault.
Agreed. Yeah, it's... this is getting interesting. Well, I would say Marshall would probably have...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a nightmare for him, really. He's messed up his entire strategy. I don't know if he's serving the drive for us. I'm just inviting another driver now. Go to your name on spectator menu and scroll down. Make sure you press ready up when you join the lobby.
Okay, so 11 drivers are in the session. We've lost Inferno, we've lost Kai, we've lost CK, sorry, we've lost XTX, Haskell, Curly, Owen, Jake, and Jack, and Thomas. I can't believe I'm saying that name. Thomas has retired from the session. The race leader, the pole position driver.
Favorite, yeah.
Yeah,
nightmarish for him. I mean, I expected a lot from him, but it's he had from last season, because he was here last season. He had great pace, but sometimes he struggled to finish the races quite a lot. So hopefully that's not a curse that plagues him coming onto the new game now. As he's going to watch Marshall. I believe he will be coming into service drive-through now. Yes, he does. He's careful into the pits.
Does come in.
I mean, I tell you, in the pits, there's a wall on the left that if you just swing your car too fast into it, as Pally sets the fastest lap on fresh tyres, and Sorrow glitches to the fastest lap with a 57.8, that's going to have to be looked at.
Yep, and Marshall coming into the pit lane, of course, and he's going to exit in P7, 6? It's going to be tight, but I think
he'll get it, yeah. But he doesn't have fresh tyres. He obviously has to stop again on those mediums. And Pally has got his way up into second place now.
Quite interesting.
Yeah, it's just full of glitches, really. But we'll try not to focus too much on that. Let's focus on the actual racing.
Exactly. Yep. There is a little bit of glitches going on, viewers, but like we said, it's okay. It's just preseason testing. As I think we mentioned this before the stream. Of course, it's not on stream, but we wanted to say it's not just for the drivers. The testing's not just for the drivers. It's also for the game itself, as there's still a few more glitches coming in, and we're just kind of testing it out, and then we'll come into the official season next week. This actually kind of gives us there's not much action going on at this particular moment. No. Not much wheel-to-wheel action at this particular moment, so this gives us a great time to actually talk about the season coming. Now, this is pre-season testing, and this is not the official race. We won't get an official points, but next week is Bahrain. Since you are the owner of the league, would you mind maybe telling the viewers just a little bit more about what's going to happen starting next week?
So next week, hopefully, I just think one particular thing I have to point on is unfortunately they couldn't be with us today due to availability. But we have partners. We have Bay Esports. I will link that in the description. I link their channel in the description of the video if you look down. And I'll timestamp in the comments as well. And they are our new partners. They're very exciting. We've been with them for a few weeks now, and they have very high quality streaming packages that we can't offer. And hopefully, we will be streaming that for both that level of hopefully, we'll be streaming that for both tiers on our channel. I hope. Yeah, as I said, I'll stick their link, and I hope every viewer can go drop them a follow on Twitch and show them some support. So hopefully there'll be more on that. But for next week, Bahrain, it's a great track for the game, great for overtaking with I believe 3 DRS zones, lots of slow corners where drivers can make dives into to gain the positions, and that's exciting. Especially to see these guys. Obviously, this race has been slightly hindered with technical glitches. Hopefully, Codemasters will be able to sort that out in the near future. Hopefully we'll get a better idea of who the front runners are. But I'd say who's impressed me today, definitely the 2 AlphaTauris and Thomas, although his race ended very unfortunately there. He's definitely shown, especially by getting pole by nearly 3/10, he's shown that he's a front runner. But obviously there's a lot of drivers who haven't been able to show their potential. So this pre-season test hasn't shown us too much. There's clearly a lot of pace to be unveiled than we've seen at this challenging track. But yeah, fingers crossed we get a better standard of race at Bahrain. And I believe that is Chaos Druid who has... Oh, there was a Haas spun, yes, Tosa Hammer. And he's struggling a little bit with with this handling, but that's unfortunate for him. Anyway.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of stuff to go over. Thanks so much for kind of giving us a detailed explanation of what's to come. Really excited for Bahrain. And as you said as well, there's a lot of drivers in here that didn't show their full potential. I want to say a big driver that was out was Owen. I think he's a really fantastic driver.
Yes.
And was kind of cut short from this race. I think he's a challenge for the championship. And there's so many other drivers in this league, in this tier especially, that are going to be fighting for quick positions, as Black CF just retired from the session at turn 9. Another corner that is extremely difficult.
It's a safety car.
Oh my goodness, this puts Meep Show in a perfect position.
And to pit onto new tyres, and I Marshall as well gets him back into the race. And I was just going to say, I haven't mentioned this yet, but the league a few weeks ago we released some power rankings, and the main thing from it is that AlphaTauri are on top, so Meep Show and Pally, and they're really showing that potential here right now. 1-2, great position for them. The 2 drivers who've shown perhaps the best level of consistency today. So yeah, they're definitely favourites for the constructors coming out of this race. Although no one can, as I said, no one can really be discounted. It's so close in this tier.
Oh, totally. It's going to be an insanely close championship. Especially, I think AlphaTauri right now are the favorites going into this, as Meep Show does pit for AlphaTauri. 11 seconds, the gap to his teammate. I think Pally will get ahead unless he pits. He does not pit, so he's going to get ahead. Question now is, what tires is Meep Show going to pit for? He's pitting for the softs, and that's a very bold strategy here, because here's the thing. You would think, drivers, that, here's the thing. Let me explain this real quickly. You would think that the soft tires would last very long, they would be able to last to the end of the race, because, of course, softs usually can last around 10 laps. That's how the tire life usually goes with the soft tires. But on this track, I've noticed from personal experience at driving this track, the softs do not last that long, to be honest. Even if they're new tires, it doesn't matter. They do not last that long. And actually, I got a puncture with my softs on 67% tires, if I'm not mistaken, quite recently at this track. 67, yeah, and that's not, you would think it maybe be like 70, 80%, but 67. And I wasn't pushing that too hard either. So showing that these softs are not the greatest, I want to say, but the game could be completely different. I played that. Marshall, Torrent, Norwich, all those guys pitting for the softs. One driver that did stay out is Sorrow on those hards. Will that work out for him?
Oh, well, I mean, he's risking it because I think he put them on. I just checked. He's had them on for 14 laps. Hopefully, I think he's actually going to try and rejoin now. So fingers crossed he can make it. But he's been on them for 14 laps, maybe even risking a puncture soon. Who knows? But I'm just saying, yeah, I've had experiences with tyre wear. I tried to take the hards about maybe 17 laps on the last game, although I don't believe tyre wear has changed too much, so it's a good reference point. And I was struggling. I had to back off massively in the last 3 laps because I thought I was going to get a puncture. Luckily, I held on, but then karma struck in the next race, and I got a puncture from P1. But anyway, we're not talking about that. That was enough of a dark moment in itself. Is that Paddy in front of the safety car? No, it's looks
it's
like yeah, it's Toto Hammer. He's just avoiding being lapped now.
Thank goodness he was able to get ahead because now he can unlap himself and get back up to the pack and try and get some more points and show his potential, you know, because he's been lapped quite a bit, but now he's ahead of that safety car, and now he'll get back into this race unless he's lapped twice, but I don't think that's the case.
Toto Hammer, no, I don't believe he is, because he was with the pack a while ago, quite recently actually.
Okay, so he'll get back into this race. Great to see. Very great to see. But we are on lap 25 of lap 33. About,
yes.
I want to say, just a few laps remain. Wow, time has flown by.
Oh yes, it's been slightly marred by driving issues. Obviously, a lot of DNFs, which hopefully we won't be seeing come the opening race in Bahrain. But I tell you, some drivers have really stood out today, and they'll be happy with that. As I was saying, the AlphaTauris, and I think what I'm fascinated with is what Meepshow will be able to do with those soft tyres. He's going to have a lot more pace than Paliputter, although he does have a penalty. So if he overtakes his teammate, he's still going to have to push out a big gap in order to compete with him. So those two will really be battling for the win. That's what we should definitely focus on the most in anticipation.
Well, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting race going forward. I think safety car's going in this lap. Sorrow has left the session as well.
Yeah, he's had issues getting his car. Just a shame for Toto Hammer as well. It will help Meepshaw, and he's got 8 laps. I think he should just about to be able to make the softs. Well, Pally is gone. He's put a healthy gap in, but once Meep disposes of the McLaren of Sorrow, then he's going to have a big chase on his hands. 2 teammates. Hopefully we don't see any Hamilton-Rosberg antics, as was actually at this track at turn 3. We're hoping we don't see any of that, although it would provide us with some great entertainment. Oh, someone looks like he spun. Chaos Druid is completely spun. He is lost his front wing. That's unfortunate for him. He was obviously a lap down, so he didn't have too many positions. He didn't stand to gain too many positions, but it's marred what has been a pretty miserable day for him, although at least he's still in the race. Anyway. Yeah,
both Haas drivers have struggled quite a bit today, but that's part of preseason testing. You test the car, you test how the handling is, and hopefully you'll be better in the race.
Everyone's getting accustomed to it. Pally's picked up a 3 seconds.
He's
DNF'd! He's gone!
Oh no!
Oh no!
He spun, got a 3-second time penalty. Pally's out of the race.
Pally's out of the race. The 2 leaders,
Pally
Thomas and Pally.
Yes. Oh my goodness, is this more drama? Pally out of the race at turn 9. Meepshow leads the way. Sorrow P2, Lightning P3. This is a completely disastrous race for the 2 race leaders who started from pole position, the front row of the grid. Meepshow leads the way, and this might be a pretty easy win for him.
But I tell you, Norwich fan, I know he's got some good pace, a Tier 1 driver testing himself out in Tier 2. It is not over yet in the slightest, as Meepshaw's just going through the first corner now. If Norwich can reduce that gap by about a second, same with I Marshall, then they could catch up to Meepshaw. So it's very interesting between these 3. Yeah, go ahead.
Surprisingly as well, as Sorrow is closing the gap as well. Sorry to interrupt what you're saying there, but yeah, he is closing the gap quite rapidly, so another driver to add to that list.
That is Sorrow Racing, isn't it? No, it's not. That's not it. That's his AI, for sure.
Oh, is it?
Because if you look at the wheel, it looks like the way it's shaking looks very AI.
Interesting. He's using ERS, so it's surprising that That would be EA. Sorry, AI.
Yeah, I've set it on like 75, I think, so it shouldn't be too quick.
Oh.
But no, I mean these guys are definitely at least like 100, 110 pace. So we'll just see how it pans out.
Well, you know, if it is him in the car at the moment, it actually makes sense why he's catching.
He's commented. He says AI.
Oh, dang.
That's impressive, though. The AI is quick on this game.
Yeah, the AI is insanely quick. You're right.
Especially for 75, honestly. I mean, I think maybe... I don't know, maybe it's glitching because he's tried to join in the car, and maybe it's going even quicker than what it's meant to be on. Who knows? But, I mean, he's still in the gap to win this race, so we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what's interesting as well is that Meep Show has got a 3-second time penalty, and he's gonna. If Marshall and Norwich catch up, they're gonna be in the chance of winning this race. So technically, they're battling for the race lead at the moment, as they're getting very close. 3:10 separates them, and it looks like the Aston Martin of Toyrent, the other Aston Martin, is in action for the podium as well. This is getting so intense. The grid that started on qualifying, after qualifying, all the drivers that started qualifying are pretty much all over the place now. It's a completely different grid.
It's a complete mixed match, and I believe Sora. I mean, he's not losing that gap. I'm pretty sure he's on something like 110 AI because he's on old hard tires. Yeah, I've asked him to leave the session. There's a spin. Marshall spun. He spun on the curb. That treacherous inside curb. He's gonna have to wait to rejoin. No collisions. Marshall is out of the running, and this leaves it really between Norwich Fan and Meep Show. Can he put a gap in? Yeah, Sora's now losing time. I think that's he's now driving at 75 AI, which is good. I mean, I didn't really want anything violating the integrity of the race like that.
Yeah, it's possible he can still win the race as an AI driver because he's still got that two. But I think you're right. Meep Show versus Norwich at the moment. This is going to get interesting. It's actually okay. So Meep Show's got. Oh, I was going to say actually they have a pretty different ERS system, but they actually have about the same ERS.
Yeah, they're very low.
So the same tire wear. The only difference is the gap, and that's actually coming down. So Norwich is starting to gap. If he gains 1 second on Meep Show, he will have first place.
No, I don't believe so, man. I believe it's about 3 seconds, but obviously Meep Show needs to... The priority is for him to not get another penalty, as we speak of which Marshall's just picked himself up another one. The gap is 6.5, at least on my screen, and it looks like that, roughly that on track. So Norwich Fan's going to have a big mountain to climb if he wants to get close to Meep Show. But we'll just have to see.
I made a quick mistake there. Sorry about that.
That's fine.
A Norwich Fan. Norwich Fan spun a little bit.
Yeah,
and he's lost a lot of time. Now that gap is completely down.
Why is Soros still on track to win the race?
I have absolutely no idea.
I don't know.
It's a completely different race, you know?
I don't know, because it's... Oh, sorry, I just decreased my headset volume massively. I mean, he's got a lot more ERS than me, which might be explaining why, but that gap should be skyrocketing.
Yeah, you would think so, but it's surprisingly not. Surprising, and we're now on 4 laps left of the race. Norwich Fan is a little further behind, so I think it's actually between Sorrow and Meep Show.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, man.
No, go ahead. I was finished what I was saying.
Oh no, I was just going to say, I don't believe we're going to have, even if Sorrow wins the race, I think it's something wrong with the game, because I mean Meep Show's driving completely normally, and I know he's a very quick driver. But I think the AI will probably have to remove them from the equation of this race, or at least move every human driver to finish the race into the top 5 positions. But I mean, of course, we don't actually have points for this, as it is pre-season, so it's not going to be too much of an issue. But yeah, we'll announce Meep Show if he's able to hold this onto this gap for the next 3 laps against Norwich Fan. Then we're going to announce him as the winner, I believe.
Yeah, because I mean, I was actually just going to ask that as well.
Yeah.
If Sorrow does eventually win the race as an AI driver, would you still give the award to Meep Show?
I would give the award to Meep Show because I think it's unrealistic that the gap would be maintained when Sorrow's on hards that are close to puncturing and Meep's on fresh softs. I think that must be an issue with the AI. I'm just going to check what it's set on. I'm sure it's set on 75 because I remember putting it on there. Yeah, it's on 75, so I'm not quite sure about what's happening there.
Interesting.
So,
yeah, a little glitch going on there. I'm not exactly sure what that was about.
Yeah, Pally's commenting on the stream. Oh, I feel for him. Sorry to interrupt. But he said, got so unlucky. Oh, that's devastating. Was well on to win the race there.
Oh yeah, it's devastating, you know, when you retire from a race, and of course we have to remember this track is a traction track, so that means basically it's a big traction zone track. There's a lot of traction zones on this track that can allow drivers to spin. Turn 9, turn 11, turn 16, turn 2. All those turns are traction zones, and and we have to remember that these drivers are also getting used to the new game. This is a completely different game from 2020, and yeah, this is a learning curve, and this doesn't mean that Pally and Thomas, you know, that means even if they crashed out, they are still, I think, the drivers that are going to be contending for the championship. Because
definitely.
I think, yeah, it's just about really just testing, and it doesn't really matter who wins the Grand Prix. It's about getting testing, getting seeing how you can compare yourself against other drivers, seeing how the track is with your car, your setup, everything like that. That's what preseason testing is. It's not even though it is a race, it's not an official race. You guys get what I mean? I hope you do. But yeah,
do, yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, all we have to do is finish this Grand Prix. All the drivers can take all the information that they had and come back stronger next week for the official race at Bahrain, which should be absolutely incredible. We all know Bahrain is a fantastic track, especially for overtakes. There's so many overtaking opportunities. Oh yeah, I have to agree with you. It's my favorite as well.
Oh, I love Bahrain to bits. That's definitely my favourite track to drive. And we have another spinner. I believe that's Chaos Druid again. He's obviously he's retired on track. You're not meant to do that, but I won't chew him out for it because it's been an unfortunate race for him. But yeah, definitely some pointers, definitely some real statements laid down, but especially by Pally, by Meep, who will win the race on technicalities here. That's Marshall. Marshall's gone again. Oh dear, two spins for him. That's really unfortunate.
I think what's going on right there, it looks like he's on the pit straight, is he spun it on the exit of turn 16, which is right here. I'm riding on board with the Haas of Toto Hammer, and he spun probably on that gravel there. That's probably what happened. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, Sorrow is now down to 0.6 of a second. His AI is absolutely driving this. Yeah,
it's crazy. I did not expect this. I mean, it's weird because his AI is I'm looking at the telemetry and the AI is just lifting off the throttle all the time. It should not be going faster than Meep Show.
Right.
But he is.
Well, Meep Show's going to finish in first, I think. I think we have to kind of conclude that, right?
Yes, we're going to give him the race win. I believe there must have been something wrong with the AI, and he wiggles on the track. Oh, he's going to crash a little bit. And he crashes to celebrate. And he loses by 20 seconds to Sorrow. I think the game is glitched there.
Oh, it's dear. Totally glitched there.
Oh dear, what a great game we're commentating on here.
Oh, totally. I mean, we had
Norwich
a few glitches,
lets Tyrant through. Oh, that's sweet. Norwich let Tyrant through on the line. Oh yeah. Well, Norwich isn't really racing for anything. He's the tier 1 driver, and he's done well today. Yes, we'll see him tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll be tuning into the stream for the tier 1 preseason event. Hopefully, there won't be so many glitches. But we're just going to watch Toto Hammer finish in P7, and that will conclude today's proceedings. We're going to discount Sarah from the race. So a podium of Meep Show in P1, Tyrant P2, and Norwich Fan in P3. So well done to those drivers especially. But thank you to everyone who came out to race today. And hopefully we'll be back with a slightly better quality stream and race. But yeah, fingers crossed, man.
Yeah, we may have had a little technical difficulties there, but I gotta say, that was a fun race. That was such a fun race to commentate on. I want to say a big thank you to you, Ben, for commentating with me. That was just
likewise,
a lot
man.
of... And yeah, preseason is over. The drivers showed their pace, and I want to say a few drivers, such as Owen, didn't show their full pace, and I think that will come in Bahrain. And I'm really excited to see what this preseason testing shows us that there's some quick drivers out there. But I think in Bahrain, we'll find out that there's some even more quick drivers out there with some unexpected results that come from who knows where on the grid. I think it's going to be one season to remember for Tier 2. So Sorrow in this official classification here wins with a lap of a 57. That's a pretty quick lap, I want to say.
He's beaten the world record by around 16 odd seconds, so congratulations to him, especially on the hard tyres. I mean, that's something pretty formidable, I have to admit. And just on that note, I'm going to wrap up the stream on the Switchback side of things. Thank you for everyone who tuned in. Well done to Meep Show, Josh and Tieran. Norwich is Josh. Sorry, he commented on the stream, so I said his name. But well done to those three in particular. Thanks to everyone who tuned in today. And we will see you in a week's time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Thanks.